If you went back to about 400 years before Christ and you looked at the thinking of the ancient Greeks, they'd already worked out basically how people learn. And that's the kicker, that neuroscience is saying the ancient Greeks were right, the medieval schoolmen were right. Humans all learn in the same way.
I think the teaching profession, to be honest, has been done a disservice by some of the ideas that have been pervasive in the last 50 or 60 years.
The science of learning as a body of knowledge informing our teaching practice has been so successful because it really responds to how learning happens, how students actually learn.
It's about how the brain works. It's about how teachers can harness the flaws and the strengths that are there in our cognitive system.
So after switching to science of learning and discovering better practice, I was able to see faster results in my students.
It's a proven methodology with a high success rate. That ought to get any teacher's attention.
People should teach in a way that is effective for all children so that we don't make these assumptions about what students can or can't do, but we actually ensure that they're on the right track.
So the most transformational part of science of learning for me was actually when I came across explicit direct instruction. We start with a really clear learning intention. The students learn about why that particular piece of learning is important, which I think is really great for relevance. Students are given really clear definitions, there's a check for understanding built in, and then students can move on to guided practice and then independence.
So the role of the teacher then is to actually support learners and support novice learners to become expert so that they can then go off and inquire and be curious and investigate with full knowledge and full skills to be prepared to do so.
Workload is greatly reduced if you have a real structure to learning and you're not wasting time asking questions of students that they don't know the answer to. So teaching first really ensures that time is used really, really efficiently.
Teachers and school leaders were putting a huge amount of effort in to support the learning of students and weren't seeing much in the way of results. And it's not because they're not professional, it's not because they're not effective. In many cases, they weren't following theory-aligned or evidence-based practices.
I believe there's far more learning going on in our classrooms. And I think there's a whole lot of people out there, particularly our teachers, who feel like they've never felt before. They feel valued.
What do we see? We see improvement in student outcomes. But if you are looking at NAPLAN data or you're looking at test data, every one of those dots on the graph is a child. And you are changing the lives of those children. And I see this happen time and time again.
We've got a potential solution to the challenges we face around student achievement and student attendance and engagement and classroom management, for example.
So we're literally seeing things in our classrooms and schools that in recent times we certainly haven't seen. And that's a result of the science of learning.
Come into a classroom where explicit direct instruction is underway, and I genuinely believe that once you've seen it, you'll never forget it.
Science of learning is an opportunity to reclaim what it means to be a great teacher. I think we've accumulated a huge amount of information about how learning happens and how teachers can teach, and it's just there for the taking, ready for any teacher to pick it up and use it.